Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Business of Dating weekly live show. I am Tamika Michelle, aka the man attorney, the owner of Connections as well, which is a matchmaking agency for successful professionals. So if you or someone you know is interested or you desire a better dating experience with other quality professionals, be sure to check us out at My Platinum Connections or the matchmakingattorney.com, which is on the bottom to learn more about our process, prospects, and prices. So tonight we are talking about dating in your fabulous 50s. I probably should have said fabulous 40s and 50s because we're a little bit grown at that point, right? 40s and 50s. We've been through some stuff at that point. So dating is crazy in all decades, right? But when you hit 40, it's something different than 50. The game changes altogether. So I'm excited about this show to bring on our guests, and we're going to get this conversation started. If you are on YouTube, you want to join us live, the link is in the chat. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and head over to YouTube if you want to join us live. If you have any questions, comments, please chime in. We're looking for all that, especially perspectives from men, because we want this to be a dialogue with men and women. So go over to YouTube channel on the Matchmaking Attorney and you can chime in. So we're going to do a brief intro and then I will introduce our guests. Enjoy the show.
If you are single and tired of trying to navigate these dating streets, then be sure to tune into the Business of Dating live series and podcast, where yours truly, Tamika Michelle Johnson, aka the Matchmaking Attorney, will be joined by guests as we talk about how to date the right way as a successful professional in the 21st century. Join us live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Facebook or YouTube, or catch the replay. And to reach us, simply visit thematchmakingattorney.com. See you soon.
All right. Okay, there I am. I'm like, where am I? Welcome back. So we're going to have a couple more guests join us, but our first guest on here is going to be Deborah Lawson. I'm going to do a brief intro. I'm going to let her introduce yourself as well. And Stephanie, I see you in the chat. Thank you for joining us. I know you may have some input on this conversation, so please go ahead and put your comments in. And also, if you want to join us, check out the YouTube channel. Stephanie, if you want to get on, you have a comment. I know you have a comment. That's my sister friend right there. So she's got something to say. So Deborah has an amazing group, which is how I connected with her on Facebook. It's got several thousand members, and it is all about men and women in their 50s. It is not a dating site. It is a social site where people do things, they gather, have conversations, grown folks conversations. So Deborah, just introduce yourself really quick. Let us know where you're from and just a little bit more about the group.
Okay. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Atlanta in 2015. And I mean, you said it well, exactly what the group is all about. I'm very excited in the direction that the group is going in. And besides just Atlanta, we also have Texas, Fabulous 50's. And we also do adult conversations. Like I said, I'm very excited about the way the group is going. I'm meeting a whole bunch of great people. People are enjoying it. And, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just blowing up, and I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah, they have some good people there. Nice, sexy 50-year-olds. Like, I have never seen this many fine 50-year-olds and men and women. So if you are in that demographic, be sure to check out that group and also the events that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you are fabulous and in your 50s. And so before we have our coach come on, I just want you just to give us your perspective or your experience in dating in your 50s. A little bit about your background as being married, kids, and all that.
Yeah, I was married for 16 years, a mother of 3. I got divorced when I was like 37 years old. So, being a single mom, I really didn't have a chance to really date. I was just focused on like raising my children. I didn't start getting into the dating game until I turned 50. And that's when I moved into Atlanta. And I must say it was kind of depressing. When you get online, I'm finding that a lot of people weren't transparent. There was a lot of game playing. I was like, hold up, what's going on here? We're in our 50s. Why are we playing games? Why people are coming with representatives? Why can't people just be honest? But at the same time, I said, I'm not going to give up hope. Nowadays it's not like how it was back in the days, how you met people. A lot of it is online. It's not a lot of us don't go to clubs where we can meet, we don't really meet people. It's also more about someone's introducing you. We don't have that as much. So it's a lot of that online dating. And like I said, it can be kind of depressing, but some people have some good stories, so that's why I said it gives you that hope, of going forward. And there's some good people out there that do want to connect. They do want to be in relationships. And some people just want to have companionship. So that's where my journey has been as far as dating. I'm not giving up hope. Right now, I'm at a holding pattern right now because I'm focused on things that's going on in my job and on my platform. It's very important for me to maintain some type of foundation. But when it's time for me to go in that direction, I'm hoping that things are going to be a little bit better than they were in the past as far as dating, so that's where I'm at as far as the dating. Yeah.
Okay. So I know, you have a job and you have the group and, doing all of that. Do you desire just to even meet someone like every once in a while, just for like friendship or drinks or companionship? Or are you just so frustrated with the dating scene that you just don't do anything at all?
No, I mean, I do talk with people. I do go out because it's also part of networking, and you build up a friendship. You don't know what that friendship can turn into. I believe that in a relationship, you should have some type of friendship. So I do go out and I do meet people. And I enjoy myself. Atlanta has a lot of things going on, and there's some great people here in this community. So I'm not a hermit. I'm not just staying at home, just working all the time. I enjoy connecting with people. I enjoy spending good quality time with people and having that good dialogue, people of like mind. So I do get out.
Okay. And I see Stephanie, she wrote in here, dating in your 50s is scary. It's scary for her. I get it. Tell me why it's so scary. Do you feel the same way? And is it scary to you? And why would it be scary?
Well, I mean, me personally, when I was really more into the dating and not just put myself in a holding pattern, I have the conversation and I really love the video chat. It gives me a chance to get to know someone by video before you actually go out. It's not a fail safe, as far as doing the video, but for me, it helps me to get to know a person before I actually go out. You take chances with anybody, whether it's a man or a woman. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Definitely go out someplace where it's crowded, not someplace where it's like isolated, be aware of your surroundings, be more security conscious. So it can be scary at times because people do put on a false perspective of themselves, and then when you actually meet them and you pull the curtain behind the curtain, it's something totally different. And it can be scary. It can be scary, both men and women, because people do have hidden agendas.
Listen, I used to say between like 2 and 4 weeks. That's when some of those things start coming out. People can't hold facades but for so long. So I've heard after about 2 weeks, yeah, I was in prison for killing someone. I'm like, okay, like for real.
And it's so funny that you say that because a friend of mine, we were talking about that the other day, and we were saying how men they'll be consistent for like a whole month. Sometimes they don't go past that month. And she was like, well, sometimes they don't even go past a week or two because they do have a hidden agenda, and sometimes you have to sit back and see what that agenda is. And like I was saying to you earlier, a lot of people say, I go by a person's action versus their words. I go by your pattern. And it takes a while for you to get to know a person's pattern. So you take that time to get to know them. But, people will try to speed it up, just to get what they want in the beginning. But a lot of times they do fall short because they realize, okay, I'm throwing this bait at, she's not buying it. Or, he's, a woman can be throwing something out and he's not buying it. And then they fall off. And that's okay because they did you a favor.
I saw this article. I posted it in the group the other day, but it was this man, this woman, this man. They met online, and so they were supposed to go out once. The guy canceled, and they were supposed to go out at the second time. He canceled, and so the third time, she said, "If you're calling me to cancel, just lose my number." And then 5 minutes later, they were meeting at a Popeyes. And so they ended up getting, they had like this whirlwind romance, ended up getting married and,
Wow.
all of that. But I posted in the group, would you even give this guy a third chance to meet? I want to hear your opinion, your perspective on that. In that scenario, supposed to go out, first time cancel, second time cancel. Would there have been a third time?
It all depends on what your reasoning was why you were canceling. Okay. That is going to really be based on that for me. Okay. I would give you that third chance to go out just to see, who you are, if it's where you tell me, oh, we're going to meet at 5:00. Okay. And then you tell me at 7:00, I'm canceling. Then I have a problem with that. You need to call me ahead of time and let me know that you're canceling. This way I know you're pretty much sincere in what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it all depends on what your reasons are. I don't want to say excuse, what your reasons are, because things do come up. Because there's times that I had to cancel, that and I want that person to be understanding of my reasoning. So I would give that person that same respect. It would be a third time. But if you come to me and you make some great reservations and you put out the red carpet, so to speak, it's like, okay, he canceled on me twice. He's trying to make up for it. He's really sincere in the fact that he canceled on me. So then you can gain yourself some little brownie points there. But I would give the person an opportunity. Yes, I would.
Okay, but third time was at Popeyes. It was in the Popeyes parking lot.
but something. Okay, how could I put it? Someone said to me, because I don't have no problems meeting in a park, a Popeyes parking lot. I can't. I don't know how we're in Popeyes in the parking lot. You talking about the neighborhood? What neighborhood you talking about Popeyes? There's nothing wrong with Popeyes chicken. I don't eat fried chicken. There's nothing wrong with that. Their food is kind of good. The biscuit be on the money.
Right.
But, it depends on the location of Popeyes and exactly how many people around that area. And I couldn't understand that because, he doesn't know what you all about. We got some crazy women out here as well. So there's nothing wrong with having that to be in each other's presence, because sometimes, like I said, you can have the conversation, you can be video chatting, but being the person presence, you can get a lot more out of it. Their mannerisms, sometimes that's when that chemistry really hits, when you actually see, you know what I mean? So I think I would still give that person a third chance. Let's just stop and meet someplace for like a quick second. Let's have a quick conversation, But the fourth time, if we do decide to go out, I would like for you to step up your game.
Yeah, there's a lot of women who said absolutely not. Like they just would not get a third chance. And I don't know. Maybe I'm with you. I might give them a third chance if I was still dating, but. Part of me back then when I was dating, I probably would have said no. Like I'm good.
But you made a valid point when you said this individual, she did meet up with him, and then now they're happily married.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and maybe, how can I put it? It's like it could be something that's immature, but sometimes I think people test you. To see. You have some men. I have some men in my family. That they do pretty well for themselves, and they'll meet a woman on a date and they won't come in their Benz. They'll come into something else, just to see, if she's all about really getting to know them or she's all about what they have, if she's about materialistic things. That may have been what he wanted. So let me see if she's okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And then he rolled out the red carpet the next go round. Some people do that. And I'm sure there's some men on this call that probably say, yes, some men do that.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is really by that third call, she was kind of like, look, if you're calling to cancel, lose my number. So at some point you do have to set some boundaries.
Yes,
right. So he was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like the third time, he's going to know that she's really not going to put her foot down. So she probably would not have been the one. But you do have to communicate, okay, this is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm,
At some
mm-hmm.
point, you have to establish that early on.
Yeah, so
So
I'll meet you there because I really want to get the chance to get to know you and meet you. But if I get there and you don't show up,
yeah,
mm-mm, mm-mm,
uh, yeah,
don't even call. It will go right to voicemail.
right.
Don't even
So let me ask you this. So you said that you were married for 16 years.
go. Mm-hmm,
Did you would you make a different decision and that meant that you got married when you were in your 20s?
mm-hmm.
Would you make a different decision like in a choice of a man in your 50s now? Have you learned anything about how you are in relationships, who you are as a person? Of course you've matured.
Mm-hmm.
Um what things have you learned basically from being in the marriage to who you are now in the choice of partner going
Well, I
forward?
mean, if I had to do it all again, I think I probably would want to wait a little bit longer. But at that time, a lot of us was getting married at that young age, and plus two, for me, being raised in the projects, my family, we were on public assistance. I don't want to say it was like something like a survivor mode or anything, but it's like I wanted to move on. You know what I mean? Um, I wish I would have waited and did it later. As far as what I learned now, I enjoy me better now than I did when I was married
Okay.
because it was all about. And I'm a firm believer in being apart and everything, but unfortunately for me, I kind of like lost myself. Um, I was being a mother, I was being a wife, which I should be, but I was beginning to lose myself.
Yeah.
And I felt that if I would have waited a little bit longer and built up me, I wouldn't have felt that way. And not to say that I wouldn't have said, okay, I want a divorce. I mean, there was my reasons on why I wanted a divorce, whether I got married 30 or 20, whatever it is, what it is, whoever you're getting married to. But I wish I would have waited a little longer just to build up who I was, you
Mhm.
know. And then when I did get divorced and I had young children, I had to learn fast because my mother, I'm the second oldest of 8 children, and my mother had me when I was 17, and very strong woman. She's my role model. Um, but I kind of like had to learn things on my own. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So when I got a divorce, I may just trials and errors, but I learned to lie, and it made me who the person I am today. And it gave my daughter a blueprint to see, as well as my boys, that you can make it on your own. Do what you feel that you need to do.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The thing is that, most people have just had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Even, people who grew up in two-parent households, there's not those conversations to girls and young ladies showing them from a man's perspective, like what is it that attracts men or how to quote unquote be like wife material. Like what is
Mm-hmm.
it? How do you emotionally connect with men? And fathers don't have those conversations with women. There are more conversations from fathers and mothers to their sons than there
Mm-hmm.
are to us. They just
Yes,
tell us what not to do.
exactly. Exactly. You know,
And so we're lost.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I grew up in a single parent home and I didn't see what it was to be in a loving relationship. And my mother, she wasn't the most affectionate person, and I don't falter for that. That came from her side of the family. So I made sure that I was affectionate, with my children. But, to your point, there was no blueprint for me. You know, sometimes it was things that I would read in the Harlequin romance books, that I would read on how a relationship should be, or the things that you see on TV. But sometimes those things weren't realistic,
Right.
but that's how I learned certain things. And sometimes I was using that as my blueprint. And it would get depressing because it did not turn out that way that you would see in the Harlequin romance books. So,
Right. Oh, it's so far from
it's somewhat different, right?
it's so far from the movies that we see. It's so far from everything that we see on social media. So yeah, it's how we got to hit our head a few times, a lot of
Yeah,
times.
we sure did. We kissed a lot of frogs, and like not too many prints would come up. So, but you learn, and you move on. I enjoyed the journeys that I've been on. I learned a lot from a lot of people, but I feel that people that was born in the baby boomers and Generation X, we didn't get, to your point, we didn't get a lot of guidance. We had to learn a lot. Sometimes we spoke to friends that, you have conversation about. I think the Generation Y and the millennials, I think they're a little bit more open. And they have more conversation about relationships. They're more into getting involved with therapy, to get to know who they are, be kind of like proactive. Because most people go into therapy when they're in a relationship, to try to keep what they have. But a lot of people are not proactive and go into therapy to say, okay, what's my issue? How can I fix it? Because I know that I do want to be with someone, and I want to be the best person I possibly can be.
Yeah. I think everyone should go to therapy. Like right now, if you're not in therapy, you should make an appointment like tomorrow. Like for real.
No, but even the platform that we're on right now, and everyone has all these other platforms, to me, that's some type of form of therapy. The fact that we're talking about it, we're having that open dialogue, and we're being open to hearing what everybody's perspective is on it. And more important, try to be honest and be transparent. I think that's very important, when you're trying to, if you want to open up, to really be true to what you want and what direction that you want to go in.
Yeah. So what is it now that when you do jump back into the pool, when you do get wet again, what is it that you're looking for? Wait a minute. Let me say it over. When you dip your toe back into the water. Let's say that. What is it that you're looking for? What's important to you now in a partner?
Well, one of the first things that I'm not going to do, I'm not going to come to the table with a checklist. Okay. I'm not going to do that. I mean, there are some things that I do look for, like, you have to be a gentleman. That's number one. Okay. I don't like people that's loud or obnoxious, but I'm not going to come to the table with a checklist. For me, I'm looking for someone who has family values. That's very important to me. The relationship that you have with your children, the relationship that you have with your friends, that speaks volume to me when I'm talking to someone. A person who has they have to be affectionate. Very important. You love to hug and kiss, because at the end of the day, as we get older, there's going to be certain things that you can't do, and that hugging and kissing comes into play. But getting out there, I'm not a fan pretty much of multiple dating or multiple conversations, so to speak. And I know that at our age group, sometimes people say it's good to talk to a lot of people, but I want to be able to give someone 100%. And then if it doesn't work out, then I don't have any what ifs. I know I gave it to 100%. Because I don't feel that my nature, I can't be 25% over there, 25% over there. I feel like I may be missing out on something, and I'm not giving a person truly who I am. When it's time for me to get wet in the pool, I'm definitely not going to go on with a checklist. I'm going to do my best, because I may surprise myself,
Mm-hmm. So. And see, so I disagree on that front. I do think that women should date a couple men, but not be 100%, because you're not at the point, in my opinion, to give 100%, and men are not giving 100% to you. So it's going to be off balance from the beginning. And just, as time goes by, whoever, again, who was still there, the ones that you're growing with, then you will naturally gravitate towards them. But I think initially, because I feel like you will spend too much time with one person if you're giving 100%, and they're not good. Men just are not giving 100% from the beginning. No, this is not in their nature.
I mean, I'm aware of that, but that's my nature. And, I'm going to stay true to who I am, to my character. If that person is not being true to who they are, and they have, they're dating for a different reason, I'm going to trust my instincts, and I'm going to find out sooner or later. I'm not going to sit in it like before in the past. I would sit in it. I'm going to trust how I feel. and move on. I know what I bring to the table, so to speak, and not to sound cocky or anything, but at the end of the day, I'm going to stay true to who I am. I'm not going to have you change me. I'm not going to give you that power over who I am. You're either we're either equally yoked, or we are of the same like mind, or we're not. I don't take it personal. I move on. Not everyone is going to be for me, but like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to stay who Deborah Ann Lawson is.
Okay, I respect that. So I have Tinsley who joined us. Let's see.
Hey everybody, sorry. I am so sorry I'm late. Can you hear me, or do I need to put in my earpiece?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to make sure I don't hear an echo. Okay. So this is Miss Tinsley Bradford. Deborah was waiting for you because she was like, I'm waiting for the coach to come on.
Right. I'm looking for someone to when it's time for me to get in the pool.
To get wet again.
Like, give me some advice. Yes.
So I'm going to introduce Tinsley. So she is a dating coach. She is the author of the Settle Free Dating Method for Women. She was featured in the first issue of Platinum Magazine, which was earlier this year. So you can check her article out. I also have her website on here. Should be in the comments. Check Tinsley out. But Tinsley, just briefly introduce yourself really quick to the audience.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Tinsley, the Settle Free Dating Coach. And I say settle free because settling for less is something that I don't do in any area of my life. And a lot of people used to get confused. What do you mean settle free? You mean don't settle down? Well, no, I mean don't settle for less than you deserve in any area of your life. So that's what I mean by that. I'm a dating coach, a commentator on some TV shows. I do have the opportunity to dibble and dabble here and there. Some of y'all may have seen me on Fatal Attraction on TV1. I love doing that kind of stuff, talking about those horrible, tragic crimes that take place with a lot of women who unfortunately many times got in bad situations, and sometimes men. I do have experience, as Tamika mentioned, an author of the Settle Free Dating Method for Women. So make sure you visit my website and click the link on there and order your copy. I have a ton of experience, and just giving people advice on how to live the very best life and to refuse to settle for less than you deserve in a relationship by paying attention to the telltale signs. I came in at the tail end of you all's conversation, and it sounded pretty juicy what you were talking about. And I'm all about making sure that people are paying attention to the signs. And like you said, Deborah, not sticking around when you notice the buffoonery and foolishness, And I also agree with you, Tamika, about having multiple dates, because that way you can kind of like weed them out. You know if this person seems to be a good fit, if that person is a good fit, you narrow down your search. I mean, I think that's healthy.
Yeah. So was it you, were we talking online, you posted basically saying that someone has sent you a graphic photo? Was that you?
I think we talked about that before, when they send those private part photos.
Yeah.
A DP, a DPIC.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called?
Well, okay. I don't want to say the word on here.
Right. Okay. And so I didn't really experience, even when I was dating, I did not really experience that. But I just would have been so offended, so turned off, and just disgusted. But is that something, even like men in their 50s and 60s, are they seriously doing that? Are they seriously texting those pictures to women? Deborah's like shaking her head, yes. Men are seriously doing that.
I've had that happen to me in the past. I'm gonna tell you, I think when you get to a certain level and you just have your energy and your aura reads, brother ain't playing, don't come with that, they won't try you. But sometimes they will try to test you to see if your mind is on a freaky deep level or if you're deeper. So yeah, I've had that happen to me in my time over the years, dating and getting to know men and just meeting guys in the store or wherever we met and going home to be greeted with these pics in my phone. And then also being asked, can I send something graphic? As if I have to do that. So yeah, they do that. They are doing that. And probably to this day, they're still doing it. Luckily for me, I haven't had that happen in a long time, but I've had it happen enough to say it does happen. And it's sad, but they're out there doing that, thinking that they're going to catch somebody with their pants down, literally, I guess.
And Deborah, have you had that experience personally?
I mean, yeah, I've had men send that to me, and I just, it's offending. It's offending to me, and right away, sometimes I just I do a shake my head, and then right away I just block. I don't have the time for it. I just block. I just feel that you know what you're doing. I don't need to educate you what you're doing. And to Tinsley's point, they're testing you. They want to see where your head is at. Okay. And they probably send it to a whole bunch of different women because unfortunately, sadly, there's some women that will go for that. But I'm not the one. So I would right away block you because you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
Okay. Let me ask, we bring that up, like they're sending something to a whole bunch of women. Because I keep on muting you. I'm getting feedback when you're in. But have you all experienced the good morning, beautiful, the good morning text?
God, that's a copy paste to everybody in the world.
Okay. So, did I take you off? Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, I was out of the dating game for a minute in my 30s. And so when I went back, I remember I was dating someone else and I got that good morning, beautiful, or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet because, I had been out the game for a while. And then it finally occurred to me, I was like, there's no name on here. It's just very generic. And I don't know how women perceive that now. I mean, has every woman pretty much figured out that this is a game that men are doing? And do you do the same thing? Because after a while, when I got it, I was like, oh, okay, I got this.
I mean, I know there's some men that come from different areas, like men in New Orleans and men down south. They were raised by saying good morning, beautiful, honey. That's their part of their language, But I do make it a point to tell people after, hey, my name is Deborah. I love my name. When you're saying good morning, Deborah, I know that you're really thinking about me. You're really saying good morning to me. But I do feel that in the back of my mind is like they're doing a copy paste. They have like 20 people that copy pasting that same thing. Good morning, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You, as a man, you will go a long way by saying the person's name. This way they know that you're really talking to them. You're thinking about that person at the time when you're putting that in there. For me, that gives you brownie points. I feel as if, like I said, you're really focusing on me and not everybody. And then if I'm telling you how I feel about that, and then you're still going forward doing that, then it's like, okay, that's your pattern. That's who you are. You're playing the numbers, so.
Tinsley, I want to ask you, so you just recently turned 50, fabulous and 50. You both are just beautiful and gorgeous. If I could look like that at 50, I would be honored. So how has dating been for you? Is it any different in your 50s than it was any younger? Or are you just able to kind of sift through a lot of the craziness?
Here for me is I recently started seeing somebody, and that person who I'm seeing is someone I've known for a very long time, many years. But even before,
hold on, Tinsley. Do you have headphones on?
The feedback.
Yeah.
That's why I was like joining from my phone. I just left the lab, the office. How about now?
I still hear a little bit, but it's better than it was.
I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. It happens. That's what happens when you don't show up at 7:50.
That's the reason why.
I'm just playing. No, so you said you just started dating someone.
Yeah, but to answer your question, it's actually, for me, it's easier only because I am so no nonsense now, way more than I used to be. And I weed out foolery so much faster. And I don't waste my time and I don't waste their time. If the energy's off and I'm not getting consistency from them, I'm not getting action from the guy, I'm not getting the sense that they're interested in me, I'm not getting the sense that they're attracted to me or whatever, or they really are genuinely there to get to know me, Tinsley, not hello beautiful or good morning beautiful, but to get to know me. I don't cut them off in a negative way. I just let it ride out. And then eventually I might stop talking to them. And then they'll come around and go, hey, I ain't heard from you in a while. And I'll go, well, you didn't do anything to stand out. So I just don't sit around waiting on you to call. And I'll tell them quick, you didn't do anything to stand out. Life is too short to sit around waiting to see what you're going to do today. Life is too short to wait around to see how you're feeling today. Are you in the mood to talk to me? Are you in the mood to come and visit? Are you in the mood to plan something, to do something? If you're not, then dating has a lot of components, And part of that is doing more than just texting on the phone. It's doing more than just calling every now and then. Dating is really investing your time to get to know the person. Every time I talk to people on the interviews that I do, I always compare your job. You know that from me, Tamika. Your work, the career you have is so much like dating when you first start. Your manager's not going to hire you if you don't give a darn good interview, if you're
Yes.
not a good candidate or a good fit, if you don't seem like you're doing what you need to do on the job. And while you're working, if you're late all the time, if you're a problem employee, you start getting written up, you start getting sent home early, you start getting pay cuts, whatever. The same thing should go for when you're dating. If this guy or woman, whoever you're dating, is not a good fit and you see those signs, why waste your time any further? Just go ahead and let it be what it be. Let it do what it do, which is for that person absolutely nothing. And you just move on. So the dating for me, it's just been hard. It's worse. The pandemic brought out the beast in people. It was hard back then, but it's worse now because people have time to read. So all of these, a lot of narrow-minded, small-minded, mediocre-thinking people are looking online, looking on TikTok, looking on Instagram, and they get a lot of their opinions from there. And if they're already broken and they're already damaged goods, they're going to always side with the foolishness. They're going to always side with whatever makes them feel good because that's how they feel anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you got the guys talking about the woman that's older. She ain't a good catch. She just used goods. A lot of that is going on. So dating right now, it's harder. And you will be blessed and fortunate if you find somebody who values you enough to take the time to get to know you and they're happy doing that and they're consistent. It's worse.
That's interesting. And I was married by the time the pandemic came, but I would not have thought that it got worse during the pandemic. So that's really interesting. So there are women who are going to hear this because this was part of something that I went through while I was still in my 30s. But the feeling of the fear of being alone is paralyzing. And it takes a lot of strength. It's easier said than done to leave that situation if you're in an unhealthy relationship. What do you, both of you, because both of you have Tinsley, your coach, and Deborah, you have your head on straight, as far as what you do going forward. But what would you say to a woman who's listening? They're just really fearful of being alone in an unhealthy relationship. We all hear the numbers. We all hear the statistics. We're in Atlanta. We hear, 10 to 1 and all crazy numbers. What do you tell women?
I just trying to think as far as fear for being alone. I think it all starts with pretty much learn how to enjoy your own company. Number one, I don't feel that you should be fearful of being alone because to me, that's like, you kind of like giving up hope. You're stopping yourself from meeting somebody really special, and you owe it to yourself too to give it an effort to meet somebody special. Like as I always say, you'll surprise yourself. But I think it starts with learning who you are, enjoying yourself. And when you feel that way, you're more open. I find that you're more sociable, you're more giving, and people gravitate to that positive energy. So you're going to end up meeting someone, and then you discover love. As far as being lonely, you have friends, hopefully you have friends, you have family. There's so many things that you can do in the community to meet people, to fill your time up where you're not lonely. Maybe that could be your purpose, your calling. Embrace that. Just say, like I said, always stay true to yourself and just get out there and just discover who you are. So don't fall into that trap of like, I'm gonna be lonely for the rest of my life. No, there's a reason why you're here. There's a purpose that God has for you, and you got to get out there and find that purpose, no matter how old you are.
Yeah. And Tinsley, I don't know if women in your sessions, if they actually say that, but I have those conversations with women, and it's a hard thing to say. It's a hard thing to admit. But what do you say? What do you suggest?
Well, Deborah made a lot of great points. And I also say, how do you, take the time to discover who you are? A lot of women have so many insecurities that they feel about themselves. So immediately When you don't feel good about yourself, you're always going to judge yourself. And you're going to feel like you're not good enough. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel miserable. It's because you haven't taken the time to truly find your greater purpose. Just like you said, when you are living and walking in your purpose and you know you're heading in the right direction, nothing makes you feel bad. Believe it or not, you just feel okay with so much that you used to get worked up over, worried about who said what, worried about if a status is liked, worried about if people shared your post. Now you don't care because you're okay with who you are. You don't need 30 people to validate you or 100 people to validate you. When we start thinking that way and go, I feel so good about myself, man, life is great, man. I'm living, I'm making this good money. I got this great career. I have so many dreams and visions and hopes that are coming into fruition. How do you say that word? I never can say it right.
Fruition.
There's certain words and tongue twisters for us. Yeah.
Yes. When you have things going well, and even when they don't go so well, you should be able to be okay with that and just say that's part of the process. Sometimes delay is a part of the process. But when you start feeling good about yourself, I mean 100% confident to the point where you're not so judgmental and so hard on yourself. No one else will be. You won't even think anyone else is. You won't have time to feel lonely because you feel good at home, laying down, watching your favorite TV show, or on the computer, working on your visions and your dreams, or partnering with your girlfriends. Like Deborah said, get some company and work on the next vision, do some things together. But one thing you shouldn't do is force yourself to do it. Let it be some natural stuff you want to do. I tell my guy who I'm talking to now, if I don't feel like doing anything on Saturday, I ain't doing it. Don't look at me like some poor case. Oh, she got no friends. She ain't doing it. I don't have to if I don't feel like it. I got plenty of people that I love to hang out with. I have plenty of friends, but I'm okay with myself, and I'm okay with sharing my time with myself. I love to share my time with myself because everyone else gets so much of my time. And when you're able to just start feeling good about who you are, I keep saying that, just like you said, Deborah, it doesn't matter. You won't feel lonely. You won't look at yourself and start comparing yourself to everybody else. You won't be looking at it. And date, when you go on dates, you don't feel lonely because you're going on a few different dates with guys. You may not have anything that sticks yet. You may not be in this long love affair that's growing fast, or, you guys may not be each other's girlfriend or boyfriend or man or woman, but you're out there. So it shows you're desirable. A lot of women love to still feel desirable, especially at my age. We want to feel desirable. We want to feel pretty still. And so that's part of it. When you don't feel pretty anymore, you don't feel accomplished, you don't feel successful. Now you start going, nobody don't want me. I'm all alone. I'm going to be lonely. I'm alone. Nobody want me, because you don't feel good about yourself. Create ways to feel better. Create ways, like Deborah said, to enjoy your own company. Get that whiskey, get that wine. I ain't saying turn into an alcoholic. Don't turn into an alcoholic. But do something special for yourself and be okay with taking a sip and enjoying yourself if you drink, and do your thing, and so confidence, confidence makes you don't feel lonely. Well, I'm going to say one more thing. When I used to work in the corporate America, the big time corporate America, I used to get worried about every little thing. The manager come over there and talk to one of my team members and they didn't say nothing to me. Am I doing something wrong? They didn't say nothing to me. Then you get somebody else, go talk to somebody else. Why nobody not talking to me? That's because I was concerned of it being included, wanting to be involved, wanting to be a part of it. And then when it turned around, they didn't even really want me there. So when you think about it, why be somewhere nobody wants you there anyway? Don't force a relationship. Don't try to force to be with somebody that don't want you there. Be okay with your time alone until the things that happen in your life that's supposed to happen naturally and genuinely happen. And you'll start seeing yourself being around the right people at the right time. And even yourself when it's necessary at the right time.
Yeah. I'm just going to do a side note really quick because you mentioned drinks. And Deborah posts the most beautiful drinks in the group, like every week. Like, I mean, they have fruit in different colors.
Ooh, I gotta come with that. Where you at? So I can go get me one.
Drink responsibly. So if you are not part of that group, you're over 50. Get in that group.
Yeah, drink moderately.
Take that, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. What did you say? Did you used to be a bartender, or you just came up with them?
No, there's a site that I go to that they have a variety of different drinks on there. And it's something that I want to share every week because consistency is very important to me. And a lot of us do entertain at home because we don't go to clubs, because I like to entertain at home. So why not give people ideas and choices to mix things? And, those times when you are enjoying your own company, let me try this drink.
Yes.
Let me see what this drink is about, so that when you have company come over, you feel knowledgeable. Like, yeah, people are coming over, I'm gonna mix up some stuff. They're gonna really like this, So, having that opportunity to do different things, So that's why I post things like that on the page, so people
That
can
sounds fun. I'm gonna have to follow your
different stuff.
page.
Yeah.
You do, because they look good. My husband doesn't drink, so we don't have a lot of alcohol in our house. I usually will drink maybe socially every once in a while, but yeah, they look really good.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
follow
not
you. I'm gonna follow you because I want to see. I love some good drinks. I love a good
I'm not
drink.
that much of a drinker, but I drink. I have behind me. I have my bar,
Yes, she does. Hmm.
and that's for like entertaining, because I know that people do drink. I don't drink. There's a Hennessy sitting out there, like it's been sitting here for what? What I got like Tito's and stuff, hasn't even been touched yet. But when
Yeah,
people come over,
they
I
want
want to
beverage.
have it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
because like I said, I love to entertain.
yeah.
But
And that's a
yeah,
good way to not feel lonely too. Be hospitable.
yes.
Yeah.
Create some online events. I tell people, the guys, especially during the pandemic, I dated online. We would do things together, cook fish together online, make
Oh,
fish
that's a good idea.
tacos, and he has his video on, I have my video on. We just kind of like talk and get a little beverage, get our little sippy on, and what you making? I'm like, oh, fish tacos. What you making? Okay, what you putting on yours? Make it fun. So you can also be like not feeling lonely and not feeling
Mm-hmm.
like you can't have to see them in person, but you can still see them and talk to them online, date online. A lot of people been doing that.
That's one of
Yeah.
the good things about social media, I guess, with the internet. And I learned something from my son. He's like 23 years old, and he has his girlfriend, and he'll have his phone sitting right in front of a TV show, and he's in the room, and they're talking, and they're watching the show together, and they're talking, and they're
Yeah,
laughing. I'm like, look at this.
that's so cute. I like
I,
that.
I
Yeah,
love that. I said, look at that. I'm glad I raised a son that way.
I like
Right.
that. That is so cute.
So I said,
Bye.
that's a great thing. You go watch a football game with somebody, your girlfriend. Let's watch a series together.
Grown
Let's try.
men, check it out.
Yeah.
Grown men, take some notes from her child.
Right.
Do stuff like that. Do
Thank
something
you.
different.
Right.
Make it
And,
fun.
and I thought that was so sweet. And it made, I was like, okay, I'm doing the right thing here. But there's so many ways that you can not be lonely. You don't have to necessarily be with a man, but you have your female friends, you have your sisters, your brothers, you can get, like, some people have a book club. Why not
Right.
have an online series that's watching? Let's all watch this series together. Let's do
Uh-huh.
like a Zoom call, and we're watching the show together. And while we're watching it, we're talking and we're laughing. It's like having
Right.
people there. That's an idea of not feeling lonely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You definitely have to be creative. And so I'm glad you brought those things up, because it is a different age and time, and we just have to do different things
Mm-hmm.
to connect with people. And I just want to go back really quick, because you were saying, as far as if you still want to be attractive, you want to be desirable, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I was talking to a woman today, and she's 52 and she's married. She just, she said, I feel better now than I ever have. She said, but she's like, this sounds so shallow. She said, but I walk down the street, I like to hear men whistling at me. I was like, that's not shallow. We are, women, and we still desire that.
Oh
Just
yeah.
just for me, my thing is when my husband comes up behind me, he like grabs my waist and he'll turn behind me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that. It's
Yeah.
something very simple, but it's something like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I
that right.
love to. And so, walking down the street, or walking into a room or whatever, and you walk past the guy, even if you don't speak or make eye contact, it is a good feeling to look at your periphery and see him go,
Mm-hmm. Right,
Mm-hmm.
right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yeah.
that? Who that? Ooh.
Because as women, we do that too. If I
Yeah,
see,
we
I'm not
will.
gonna sit there and stare you down. But if I see a good looking man, I'm like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
he got it
Yeah,
going on.
can I step away for a minute? Like press mute. What I need to do? Press mute.
I will mute you.
Okay.
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 When we see a good looking man, and we acknowledge, and I think men, they appreciate that too. Hopefully the man doesn't take it even further. Depends, but it's nice to be acknowledged. It's nice to see that people like what they see.
Yeah. And it's important as women that we still are we're still inviting. So if you do make eye contact with the man, just be inviting. I don't necessarily
Yeah.
believe in like asking him for his number or approaching him, but smile or wave or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Make him feel comfortable in approaching. Because I think that a lot of times women, we are so like so hard, right? Especially, if you've been working or you have certain positions at work, and you just don't want to smile. It's just hard, and had your heart broken, and it's hard to kind of soften up sometimes. It's just, it takes effort for some
Yeah, but when
people.
I see a man dress a certain way and when men put on certain colors, even in my group, I'll say, "Oh my God, that's a great color on you. That blue looks great for you." And the men go, "Thank you, I appreciate that." It's those little things like that. Let them know that, hey, you look really good at what you got on. Keep it up. You dress very sharp, very nice. Just
Yeah.
like women, we want those compliments. Men ones, they want to hear that too, as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
So
because
I just
like,
want to
oh, go
ask,
ahead.
so being over 50, I know you have your group, but where do you meet most of the men that you correspond with or exchange numbers with? Does it happen naturally from events, or do you meet men out and about, or do you have somewhere that you go?
Well, I don't necessarily have any place where I go. I mean, working in Morehouse and a Morehouse College, I do run into a couple professors, and some of them, they'll come into the legal department and be, "Hey, how you doing?" I know what that's about. So they'll come in to meet me. Also, too, there's men in the group that'll reach out to me and say hello. I don't mean to be forward, but blah 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 blah. And there's Facebook dating. But I'm not on any online platform. I've been there, done that. But most of the time, the men that come reach out to me are from either up at the college or men from the group. Even some people on my personal page, they'll reach out to me. When I do go to functions that I'm throwing, I'm so into what I'm doing, trying to make sure my members have a good experience. I'm focusing more on that than someone coming to me. And I'm not to say that I don't say hello, how you doing, but I guess they sense in my energy that I'm not too approachable when I'm doing functions that I'm throwing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a great idea. Again, I love what you're doing with the group because I think it is an icebreaker. And the events that you do have, it just makes it easier for people to meet people. So I know most of the members are in Atlanta, and you say Texas?
I have a group that I started, Texas Fabulous 50's, but I do have members in other different states because people do come to visit in Atlanta. And I love it when they're asking the question and say, "Hey, I'm going to be in town." And the members in the group, they come out in droves and they tell you, "Hey, hang out here and do this." I just love that so much about the members in my group. And as a matter of fact, I'm working with one or two people that are looking to move from the DC area to the Atlanta area. And I'm helping them get out here. And they're excited about the fact that they're going to have a social life. And they're trying to find a place where they can live. And there's a lot of people in the group that are in different professions. And I'm trying to get them to share their knowledge and their experience so that we can all learn from each other and build a community. So having the Texas Fabulous, like I said, just started a month ago, but there was a lot of members in my group from Texas, and a couple of them reached out to me and said, "We would love to have this in Texas. It's not growing as fast as Atlanta, but it'll get there." And I appreciate the members that are on there. So if I see that they're a large group of people in a certain area and you want to open up a group, I'm all for it. The more the merrier. We're all over the place, and like I said, we can definitely learn from each other. And I love being 50. I'll be 57 this month. I'm loving it. It's a
Wow,
wonderful
you
feeling.
cannot
Yeah.
look it at all. I was thinking you
Thank
just
you.
turned 50. So yeah, you do good. So yeah, so if you're not part of a social group like that and you are an introvert or you're kind of quiet, please join. There's great things. And in Deborah's group, she has where you can advertise your business or
Hmm.
nonprofit. All of that. You can't just put it out there because she told me like she's like, no, you don't have to wait till Sunday. She's like, no, ma'am. Sunday.
But I try to make it clean because I just know when I go to other people's page, I don't want to go looking all over the place. I want it in one spot. So when people say, I want to know who does what, they can go to certain areas and find out where the people are. Maybe that's just how I am as a Virgo, very organized, whatever. But I don't like stuff to be all over the place. I like it to be nice and clean as possible. Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna wrap up. Tinsley, any last words? Where are you? Are you outside now? You changed
Yeah,
places
I
on
had
us.
to run out real quick. I was this is a long story because I was
It's
leaving
okay.
the lab and everything. But so number one, don't let being 50 make you feel like you're not beautiful, not desirable, not worthy, not someone that people are attracted to. Always reflect on your past. If you've gone on dates, if you've ever been in relationships, or if you're even currently in one, remember that, okay, I may not be in a relationship right now, but I am desirable, because look how many people I've dated in the past. Look how many times I've been in relationships. Look how many times guys have flirted with me. Look how they flirt with me now. Always remember that you are being flirted with, you are still being desired, you are still being looked at. And then sometimes when your aura screams no nonsense over here, guys sometimes won't look at you because they can sense you're not about that BS. So look at it from that perspective. Don't necessarily always say, oh, nobody looking at me. Well, they're probably not looking at you because you don't look like you, hey, a part of it here. You're not looking like you just out there trying to, just lay up with some guy. And that's what they're looking for. Sometimes they're looking for those easy ones that they can pick. And I wanted to go back on something real quick. When I stepped away, I heard you talking about being presentable and smiling. What I've noticed lately, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed sometimes when we as women do that, some guys will immediately turn away, or they'll act dismissive, or if you're like at a traffic light, they'll try to speed up or whatever. I don't know if it's because, number one, they have someone and they don't want to get lured by your beauty, or number two, you're not their type and they don't want you to think they want you, or number three, they're looking at you like, I don't know why she over here flirt with me, because I'm not even into women or whatever, But have y'all noticed that sometimes? I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes when you look, and not all of them, but some guys will immediately try to not make eye contact purposely, or try to not look presentable. They want you to look approachable, but they don't reciprocate sometimes, So I will say, don't let that bother you if that happens. A lot of times, sometimes people have their own reason. They may not be into you. They may have someone already, don't want to look like they're cheating with their eyes, or whatever the situation may be. But I just noticed that, but back to what I was saying, just do your best to not let your age make you feel like you're not good enough. Let what people say about you or think about you make you feel like you're not good enough. And stop always looking for something. I don't know if y'all have heard that sound on TikTok. People are always looking for something, always looking for something, always looking for something. It's true. Stop always looking for something, because you just might find it and it may not be pleasant. Just enjoy life, find time with yourself, love on yourself, date when you want to date, don't date when you don't want to date. Pay attention to signs where the person's not treating you well, and just be observant of that. Don't ignore it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I always say, dating is like a business. I have my whole business a dating model, but it's a numbers game. So yeah, it's like if you're like selling a product, everybody's not gonna want your product. Most people honestly don't want your product when you come up to them. And so if you're not their type, if they don't reciprocate a smile back, or come and approach you, that's okay. It's a numbers game. You have to be consistent, and that's where confidence comes in, knowing and accepting the fact. Just because it didn't work, one or two times, you don't stop. It's a numbers game. You got to be persistent, consistent, and know who you are and confident. So,
and I just want to add, no matter whatever the situation is, like I said, I believe in stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
Don't give someone that power over you because it didn't work out. Because I feel that if you don't, when someone that does come along that's for you, you're going to miss your blessing, because you gave someone that power because, you felt bitter because of the way that they treat you. Don't ever take it personally. They were not meant for you. Just keep it going. Just keep it going.
Yeah. Tinsley, tell people where they can follow you or find you.
So you can look at my YouTube channel if you want to engage in some of my nice appearances on Fatal Attraction on TV1. Go on there. We've been having some fun conversations talking about those episodes. Tinsley Bradford. If you want to visit my website, it's tinsleybradford.com. So just like my name down there, Tinsley. If you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, it's Tinsley B. I'm on that. I'm Tinsley Bradford on TikTok and Tinsley B on Instagram, and also Tinsley B on Twitter. Just check me out. I don't do a whole lot of engaging lately, only because I've been working a lot of stuff online, like doing a lot of TV stuff. But just know I still post, I share, I engage, and I'm on there, but just not as much. I'm slowly rebuilding a community. So once that's up and running, I'll post that and share when that Settle Free community is complete. But I'm rebuilding that. So right now I haven't really been doing the whole Settle Free community, just my coaching sessions. If you want to book a session on how to not settle for less than you deserve, get the life you want, and stop being worried about what everybody else doing and feeling insecure and, making poor decisions, just reach out to me and book a session.
Nice.
And then Deborah, how everyone can connect with you on Facebook and your group.
Yeah, the group is open to the public. It is private, so I do approve the members that come into the group. because I want my members to have a safe place where they can come. It's called Atlanta Fabulous 50s. You can Google it, go into Facebook, and you'll find it. And if you're in the Texas area, this Texas Atlanta Fabulous 50s Plus. So it's not just about single people. It's for widows, for married people, divorced, single, and 50 plus. I do have 40 plus in the group because I want them to know that we're doing the damn thing. And this is what you have to look forward to. It's not over. We got it going on. So
Yes,
Right.
honey. Yes.
Well, thank you, ladies, for joining the conversation. I appreciate it. We had one guest who wasn't able to make it too. Actually, I thought another one was going to come, but I thank you for the conversation.
thank you.
That
Thank
being
you.
said, this was an enlightening conversation. So, if nothing else, just join those groups, and it makes it a lot easier to break that ice. So, thank you all for both of you what you do, and we will see you all next week. Have a good evening.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Nice to chat.
Bye bye.